This conference will now be recorded.
Can anybody please ping our URL in the group, please? Hello, hello. Yeah, yes, no problem.
Madam.
Yeah, seems serious pinged it. Let's see. Uha could not join. No, not here, not here. No problem. In the WhatsApp chat, Uha joined. Hello, good morning, Uha. So, any issues you facing with the link? Okay, so what we discussed in the previous session, we discussed about user management, right? User management, right? And how to run job of sequentially, those we learned, right? So today we will learn another topic called master and slave. So we'll try to understand what is master and what is slave, why we required in Jenkins, right? So in real time, the node which we installed as of now, I've installed only one server. You see, Jenkins server. This you can say it as a master node. This you can say as a master. You can say it as a master node. So why it is called as master? A moment, please. Shibin, please ping me your Gmail ID after some time. But no hurry. Thank you. So master normally what we do in master normally master normally we create jobs. In master node we will configure the jobs. We will create new jobs. We'll configure them, right? Right. We configure them, but normally till now what we did, we created jobs and we chosen freestyle and then we executed it. Once we executed, it was executing it itself, right? That means the jobs whatever we configured in this master node, those are built on building on the same server. That is the same server. This is a server. So this is a server. This is the master node. This is a master. So whatever we configure here and we can build them, they are building on the same machine. But in real time, we will be building a lot of different projects. We will be dealing with multiple projects. Some projects maybe they require they may be having .NET code. They are .NET code. So the .NET code we have to build. Those nowadays the .NET code will build on both Linux machines as well, Windows as well. They can be previously few years back, for example, some 5 years back, .NET code could not able to build on Linux machines. They used to build only on Windows servers. But now the Microsoft team they changed the architecture of .NET. So now the .NET applications can be also able to build on Linux machines as well as Windows machines. But take a scenario where we want to some jobs we want to build on a machine where it having Java. See, in this Jenkins master we installed Java. If you remember, we installed Java. We installed Java. Java is required because our Jenkins is a software again. Jenkins is a software which was developed using Java. So whenever you install Jenkins, first of all you have to install the Java. Not only Jenkins, the Maven tool. Maven is a build tool. Maven also is a software which requires Java. So that is the reason we are able to build our application, that is sample application here, the shopping application. We are able to build this application in our master node itself. Why? Why? Because Maven is there and before that Java also there. But assume if my project contains .NET application and that application should be built on only on Windows, then I cannot use the master node, right? I cannot use master node. Similarly, not only that, that is not a primary reason. Another important reason you should understand is, what if you have some 20 jobs and 20 jobs you want to build. I am talking about build multiple times, and I believe you know what the meaning of build. Build means nothing but whenever we pull the job from the GitHub, that has to be converted to exe. Very basics, right? We learned in a very basic session. So water code is here, that has to be built here by Maven, and Jenkins pulling the code and giving to Maven and Maven building it. That is fine. So Maven is where it is existing on the Jenkins itself. But if you have 10 projects or 20 projects, if you build all the applications on the same Jenkins server, same machine, then the machine will, what happens? Crash. The machine will not perform well. The burden will be increased. Burden will be increased. When we when we use only the master node, node nothing but your server instance. You can say instance, server, whatever you call it, no problem. All are same. Node means server instance, okay? Or machine, I will say sometimes I will say master node, master machine. It could be anything, no problem. Use the master node to run all the projects to build all the projects, then burden the burden the burden will increase. That is the reason in real time we won't use master node. We won't use master node alone. We will create slave nodes as well, right? If burden increases, then the master node will crash. Therefore, real time to execute multiple jobs will use master and slave configuration. This way, we can reduce burden on master node. So, master node only used to create jobs and and it will delegate build tasks to the slave nodes. Any questions here, please? So use it to create jobs. So jobs and configure also. Configure, schedule, and it will trigger build tasks to the slave nodes. These things it will do. So already we created master node. So then we have to install Jenkins. We know how to create a main master, how to install Jenkins. But what we have to do on master slave node? Slave node does not require to install Jenkins. Slave node requires what? Requirements to create a slave node. Suppose if you want to build a Java application, same application, then what steps we have to do? We have to create EC2 instance. Okay, anything Amazon Linux or Ubuntu, right? Then if you selected you have selected Ubuntu, Git software will be already installed. Okay, but if you selected Amazon Linux, then you have to install Git yourself. Next is we have to install Java, right? We have to install Java, and we also have to create a folder or directory on this slave node. Example, suppose when you create your new EC2 instance on, like if you take Ubuntu, then you will have Ubuntu username will be Ubuntu, right? So you have to create a some node inside your Ubuntu, something like workloads. So you can create a workloads in this, right? In this you can create some any directory workloads. What it contains? It contains your output. When we build, when you first time run your application, when you build your job, what happens? Your var file will be created, right? The var file, the target folder, var file, everything will be available inside his workloads. That means our main node, our main master node will not contain anything about it. It will, our master node will not store any output data. Our slave will node have the all the output data. Then master node will do what? It will simply display whether the execution, whether the build was successful or not. Our slave node will inform to master node saying that whether the build was successful or not. And if any errors, the errors will be displayed on the master node's console. So master node will be used only to schedule the jobs, create the jobs, right? And build will be done on slave node, and output also saved on the slave node only. But the results will be displayed on the master node. Master node will be used only to display the results. So this you have to do. So let us first create a slave node. So some let's see company. Okay, nice. So let's create a slave node. So master node I already have. These are master node. We'll say slave uh, one. Or else you can say it's Java apps slave one. So this fetching slave itself we can understand. Okay, this is slave one, which we in this node we can what you call install our Java application, build our Java applications. Your master node is already have, and these are all your slave nodes. And here, this in this slave node, this could be a Ubuntu EC2 instance, your Java applications, apps, that your Windows apps. Here, Java apps. So more RAM, with more RAM, right? Here it may be having, okay, more CPU power. So each server, these are all what? These are all each instances. End of the day, each instance only one instance, and this is the Windows instance. So that means our master node can communicate with our instances. They both, they all can communicate each other. So this is also again a aged instance, which we have already. All the jobs you will configure here, and we can select where our job can be executed, whether that job one should be executed on this machine or this machine or this machine, as per your code. What code you are pulling, what code you are pulling from your GitHub. If it is a .NET project, then what you have to do, if a .NET product, then I have to configure in such a way that the job should be run on Windows server, this server. That means you can create three slaves, and you can attach all these three or any number of slave nodes you can create, right? And all those you can attach to your master node, and master node can can run that particular job as you, whatever way you have configured, which way you have configured. Accordingly, your master node will run schedule that job to run on particular node. We'll see that how we can do that. Here I want to create a new job now, new server now. I will take Ubuntu, the slave node, only one master. Okay, now our Jenkins slave one is selected. And remember the security selections for Jenkins master. If you go to security, we have two protocols. One is 8080, another 2022. 8080 is because I want to access our application on the from the browser. That is the reason. But for our slave application, anyway, we will not accessing them from the browser, right? For that reason, we will not add any new security group. The only the SSH is enough. Select this one. Select the slave one. Slave one, right? So first name slave one. Now you see I am in the home directory. Here I will say work But some anything is fine. So whenever I build my job output should come inside the workloads. The WAR file, whatever it is generated after build, those should available inside the workloads. So as of now, now I will do to save to, to avoid session. I will say our save node is ready now. This is our save node and this is our master node. Your master node, okay? Your master node. So now, how to connect to our slave node? How we can connect our slave node? As this picture, I have created one node. This one. Now, how can we connect this slave node to my master node? Go to dashboard. Go to click on manage Jenkins. And here, you have nodes. Okay. Add, remove, control, and monitor the various nodes and that Jenkins run jobs on. So we have to select this one, right? So select node. And now you see this built-in node, master node. This is called built-in node. And now click on new node. So save, select the agent, create. If you want to describe, you can describe here, right? You can describe, and here number of executors. If you remember, if you remember, as per your server capacity, number of threads, as of now, it can this master node can execute two jobs parallelly. It can execute two jobs parallelly. So the server which you have selected in real time, we will be selecting high-end servers. As of now, I have selected only T2 micro. So a number of executors, how many jobs you want to run sequentially, parallelly. You can increase as per your server capacity, right? You can make it 1, 2, 3, 4 as per your how many cores the server having, how many threads it having. Basing on that, you can increase it so that so many jobs can be executed parallelly. So if more builds are executed parallelly, then the queue will not have long list because everything is built quickly. Then the queue will have less number of builds. remote directory. So it's asking after the job is built, then where you want to store the output, that path you have to give. So here, Control C, directory, this is the path. I want to store in the outputs, right? Copy this everything, select all this. Copy the,
Madan, your screen got stuck,
oh, one
and
moment
also
please.
your voice also not clear.
One moment please. Just give me a minute please. Any improvement?
Yeah, fine now.
Any improvement please? Others? Others also having the same issue? Hello? Others also having the same issue?
No, madam, we are able to see you.
Revanti, is the issue solved for you?
Yes, Madan, now I can see your screen.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Naveen. So copy remote root path. Please let me know if any I will verify. Example. Example is what? Your home directory. Created a folder number. In this, I want to have all the output files, that is bar files. I'm telling to slave node that after you build, then copy your whatever files are generated, those you should copy to this home Ubuntu workloads. So I was discussing about labels. So labels, so I told you we have different slave nodes. Every slave node we can give a label, something like Java apps only, another label .NET app only. So basing on the labels only, our EC2 instance, I'm sorry, our master node can able to schedule our job only to that particular matching node with that label. For example, job 1 is there. Job 1 I want to be executed on a machine with label .NET apps only. Then our master node will schedule the job to be executed only on that particular node. If while see where we configure, see I will tell you in a moment. I will explain that once I configure this, then it will be more clear. But as of now, just try to understand labels we give to each node. Each node will give different label, and where we use it and how we use it and what is the use of using labels we will understand in a moment. How is it now, Rajesh? Any disturbance?
No, no. For now, it's fine.
Okay,
You
thank
can
you.
contact. If any, I will. Fine.
Please, yeah, let me know. You proper label names. Example, Java apps only, for example. So this label saying that on this node you can execute Java apps only. Then here I will say Java apps only. So usage, we have two types of usage. Use this node as much as possible. Only build jobs with the label expressions matching this node. Host name, the public IP you have to give. Credentials. So there are no credentials now. We should drop down no credentials. So before I add a credentials, one important thing we should do. What is that? We have to install a plugin. Go to dashboard, manage, and go to plugins. The plugins, go to available plugins. Here type SSH agents. SSH agent. You have to install this. Select this SSH agent and install it. It will be installed. So here important step, I should make it as a step only. Okay, I don't want to disturb it. No problem. Here also that step you can implement here also, no problem. Install again SSH agent. Why? Because if you don't install it, we getting problem. That means when you, even though you add the credentials here, it will not show in the list box. That is a problem. If you forgot to install the plugin, even you add the credentials, it will not show in this list box. Click on add and click on Jenkins. So it will say domain kind. What type of, which, in what way you want to be authenticated? You want to give username and with password, or you want to give GitHub app, or various options are available. Out of this, I am interested to select SSH username with private key. Select it. Credentials. Select SSH user name with private key. So select SSH username with private key, and then next what we have to do, leave this option scope. ID can give something like anything is fine. ID Jenkins slave one, something you can give, no problem. It is not a require, you have to give, but something you have to give. Username, what is the username? Username is Ubuntu. In this case it is Ubuntu, but if you are using SSH, sorry, Amazon Linux, then it should be EC2 user, EC2 hyphen user. Ubuntu, username is Ubuntu. See, Ubuntu is the username, this you have to give. And then private key, enter directly, select this radio button. And what? Select enter directly, and then click on add. When you click on add, it will ask you to enter new secret key below. This is a text area you have to enter. So where is our secret key? Nothing but it's our PEM file. We have the PEM file. So this is a PEM file. Right click and edit it in Notepad++. This is my private key, right? Select everything and copy. Close this and you paste it here. Paste here. That's it. Copy and paste the private key. and then come down. Sorry, click on add now. When you click on add now, what we have to do, this has to be dropped. When you drop, you got Ubuntu Jenkins slave one. See Ubuntu, the name, username, and the whatever ID we have given, that is ID. You have to select this one. You got it. You must select it, otherwise it will not be connected. Host key verification strategy. Select the option manually trusted key verification strategy. That you have to select. Finally, that's all. That's all. The slave name you can give anything. Number of executors you can increase as per your server capacity, and where the output should be stored. What is the path in your slave node that has to be given. Label you can give anything meaningful. So launch agents via SSH you have to select, and your host name. That's it. Save. Here the slave one here should come like in sync is there, no? Similarly here your Linux machine will come, should come, and here in sync should come properly. Only then it is confirmed that it is working fine. Again manage let's just go there and click on nodes again. Just refresh here, refresh status. It's not working, no problem. Just go to log out, log in again. Let's see. I forgot one step, right? I forgot to install Java in this mission, right? Do you remember? Java is must, right? Did we install Java here? Java is not installed here. That is a problem, right? Create EC2 instance. We have to install Java, right? This step we forgot. That is the reason it's failing. So the Linux, we have what is the Linux version we have? Here is the Linux version. Copy this complete part. Now paste the Linux. Enter sudo, right? Saying okay. Do you remember? Whenever we create an instance, it should be updated first. So sudo apt update. Only then the respective packages will be downloaded. After that, you can install the softwares. So if you don't update, you will get error while installing any software. Now sudo yes So what we did, so let me continue then. So that, so master node we created. Now slave node is ready. Everything is ready. Now let me run job. Now the job, to run a job, I want the git https path that I am copying now. This same which we did long time, many times we're doing it. Copy this, that's it. And then what is the branch name? It's main branch. And one more thing, yeah, add build steps. Invoke top level Maven targets. If you have already installed Maven, then your Maven should display over here. If it's not displaying means Maven plugin has to be installed. You know how to do that. And then click clean package. Right? That's all. I'm just building. I'm not deploying on Tomcat. Apply. Save. Now your job is configured properly. Now let me run it. So when I run it, you see here one on the build executor status. Are you able to see slave one also here? So like that in real time, we will see multiple nodes here. You'll see multiple nodes here. So as of now, when I build this, by default, it will build on my master node only. Click on this arrow button, build schedule, and see where it is building on your master node only, built-in node. Obviously, right? We know where we see it's built. Just refresh it once. Just when you refresh, then see it's a blue tick. So build was successful. Nice. But I want to build it on slave one. How to direct, how to instruct our job one to build on slave one, that we can do in the configuration of the job only. Click this arrow button, click on configure. In the configure section, just scroll down, just see under description, just scroll down. Here we have option restrict where this project can be run. This is the main important thing. Click on this tick box. So it's asking what is the label expression. What is the label expression? So if I say label expression as Java apps only, this label I have given to this node, right? So this node will be identified using the label. If you want to run your job on this instance, on this slave one, then what is the label of this slave one? That label you have to give. This label we already configured. This label we already configured, right? So this label we already configured. Where? Manage Jenkins. Go to nodes. This is our slave node, right? Click the down arrow. Here you have configure button, right? Click on configure. You see come down. What is the labels? Java apps only. This is a label. This label I have to give here. When you type Java, it will come automatically. See, automatically label is displaying here. Java app only. When you select it, a space will come. Extra space will come. Remove it. That space you have to remove. Okay. Otherwise, it will not work. Now this is a label. So that means this job, my job, this is job one, will be executed on the cell on the node which having this label. Which will, it will run only on that node which having this label. Apply. Save. Very simple, right? Very easy. So now if I build now, the node should build on slave one, not on the built-in type. For example, if I down click this arrow here, mm, see the build one, right? So just over your mouse over there, click on console output and right click, open link in new tab. Where it has run? Building on the built-in node, right? Now this should change to slave one when I build on slave one. See here what I will do. Now I will build it. Now observe carefully where the build is happening. Now build is happening on slave one, you see. It's happening inside the job one. It's happening in the slave one. So this way we can delegate our jobs to run on any slave node. Process is same. Now it is executed. Just the count is 1. It's showing 1, but you have to refresh. It's sometimes Jenkins website will not work properly. Refresh it. Now it's showing build number 2. Now console, right click on console, open link in new tab. You see building remotely on slave 1. Previously it was built on built-in node, and this time it's built on slave 1. And when you go to our nodes in this, just one please. Now we have to check in our workloads folder whether workloads folder we got the output or not. ls we have workload folder cd workloads ls. See, we got all the files in the workload folder. cd workspace ls, cd jobs, go to job ls. So we have target folder. Now in the target folder we have our var file ls. See, our var file is there here. Okay, if you integrate your Tomcat server, then this var file will be automatically moved to your Tomcat server. So this way we can delegate our jobs to various slave nodes. You please practice today. You practice today